The first time it rang, it didn't sound like a mistake. It sounded deliberate. 9:48 p.m. exactly. One single ring. Not two, not a full cycle, just enough to make the screen light up and my eyes shift toward it. Caller ID, extent 314. Then silence. No voicemail, no missed call notification, just the number sitting there like it had something to say and changed its mind. I stayed late that night because traffic is easier after 9. The office is almost empty by 6 anyway. By 9:30 it feels hollow. The lights dim automatically. The air system hums softer. You can hear your own chair move. I work in compliance, paperwork, reports, nothing dramatic. The next night it happened again. 9:48 p.m. One ring, extent 314. I checked the internal directory the following morning. Extent 314 was listed as inactive, no assigned desk, no employee attached to it. I emailed IT. They replied a few hours later. The extension wasn't routed to any physical phone. It had been decommissioned years ago. Their words. Years ago. That should have been the end of it. But at 9:48 the next night, it rang again. One ring. By the end of the week, I started watching the clock around 9:47. I told myself I was just curious. The office felt different during that minute. Quieter. Like something was waiting with me. 9:48. One ring. The phone didn't ring long enough to answer. It felt intentional, timed. On the 5th night, I picked up before it could stop. The line was open. No voice. I didn't say hello right away. I just listened. There was sound on the other end. Faint. Distant. A keyboard. Slow typing. Not random. Controlled. Then the subtle shift of a chair. It sounded like my floor. Like my office after hours. I pulled the receiver away and looked around. My section was empty. Rows of cubicles, screens dark. When I brought the phone back to my ear, the typing stopped. The line went dead. After that, the call became routine. Every night I stayed late, 9:48 came with it. I started experimenting. During the day, I dialed 314 from my desk. It didn't connect. The system returned an error tone, invalid extension. At 9:20 one evening, I tried again. It rang once. Then the call transferred to my own extension. My desk phone lit up in front of me, the same quiet glow as always. I stared at it for a moment before answering. Silence. I checked the call history. Outgoing call to 314. Incoming call from my own number. No record of a transfer. That night I left before 9:48. The next day I asked security if there had been any system issues after hours. They said no. I told them I was concerned about possible internal routing errors. It sounded harmless enough. They gave me temporary access to the after-hours camera feeds. I told myself I just wanted to rule something out. At 9:47 p.m., I opened the hallway camera that faced my cubicle row. The timestamp in the corner showed 9:52, 5 minutes ahead. I refreshed the feed. Same thing. 9:48 arrived on my desk clock. On the monitor, it read 9:53. My phone rang. On the screen, I watched my cubicle from the hallway angle. The desk lamp glowed. The partitions cast long shadows. The phone lit up. One ring. Then I switched to a second camera, the angle inside the cubicle cluster. Someone was seated at my desk, facing my computer. The monitor was on. The figure's back was toward the camera. The face wasn't visible. The posture was familiar, slightly hunched, elbows resting near the keyboard. The timestamp read 9:54. The figure didn't move. My real desk in front of me was empty. The call ended. On the camera feed, the phone light faded. The figure remained still for a few seconds longer. Then the screen flickered. The feed reset. When it came back, my desk was empty. Timestamp 9:49. Accurate again. I didn't tell security what I saw. I wasn't sure that I had. The next morning, I requested internal system logs for extension assignments. I told HR it was part of an audit. Extent 314 appeared in the database, assigned to an employee profile. Mine. The start date was 5 years earlier than my actual hiring date. Status: active after hours. No end date. I checked my original onboarding documents. My extension had always been different. There was no record of 314 attached to me. IT said the log must be corrupted. They said they'll investigate. That evening, I didn't stay late. At home, 9:48 came and went quietly. No ring. The following nights, I left the office by 6. I adjusted my schedule, took the longer commute. The calls stopped. Weeks passed. I stopped thinking about it during the day, but sometimes around 9:45, I would feel that same quiet waiting, even at home. Last week, I was sitting on my couch. It was late. The house was still. I glanced at my phone. 9:49 p.m. I hadn't noticed 9:48. There was a voicemail notification. One new message. Received at 9:48. Duration 0 seconds. Caller ID showed my office extension, not 314, my current one. I opened the message. There was no audio, no static, no breathing, just the faint, distant sound of a keyboard, slow typing, then the subtle shift of a chair, the same sounds I heard the night I answered. The message ended without a click. I checked the office directory the next morning from my computer. Extent 314 was no longer listed as inactive. It wasn't listed at all. And under my employee profile, the system now shows 2 active extensions, one assigned during business hours, the other marked active after hours. I leave before sunset now, but sometimes when the house gets quiet and the air feels still, I picture my cubicle in the dark, the monitor on, a chair pulled in close, and someone sitting there, waiting for 9:48.